Today, our topic is how to stop worrying and start living like a Stoic. Life is full of challenges, and sometimes we feel overwhelmed by worries, stress, and problems that seem too big to handle. But what if I told you there is a way to live a calmer, happier, and more focused life? This way is not new. It comes from an ancient philosophy called Stoicism. Stoicism teaches us how to control our emotions, face difficulties with courage, and find peace even in the middle of chaos. Let's explore how you can use Stoic ideas to stop worrying and start living a better life. First, let's understand what Stoicism is. Stoicism is a philosophy that began in ancient Greece and was later practiced by Romans like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. The main idea of Stoicism is that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. This means that while we cannot stop bad things from happening, we can choose how we respond to them. For example, if someone insults you, you cannot control their words, but you can control whether you get angry or stay calm. This simple idea is very powerful because it puts the power back in your hands. Instead of feeling like a victim of life, you become the master of your own mind. One of the most important Stoic practices is to focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot control. Imagine you are in a boat on a river. You cannot control the direction of the river or the wind, but you can control how you row the boat. In life, many things are like the river, and the wind are outside your control. For example, you cannot control the weather, traffic, or other people's opinions, but you can control your own actions, thoughts, and attitudes. When you focus on what you can control, you stop wasting energy on things you cannot change. This reduces worry and helps you feel more in control of your life. Another Stoic idea is to accept that life is unpredictable. Stoics believe that change is a natural part of life. Sometimes things go well, and sometimes they go badly. This is normal, and fighting against it only causes more pain. Instead of trying to avoid problems, Stoics suggest that we accept them as part of life. For example, if you lose your job, instead of feeling angry or sad, you can accept it as a challenge and focus on finding a new opportunity. This does not mean you should not feel emotions. Stoics believe emotions are natural, but you should not let emotions control you. By accepting life's ups and downs, you become stronger and more resilient. Stoics also teach us to practice gratitude. Gratitude means being thankful for what you have instead of always wanting more. In today's world, it is easy to focus on what we lack: more money, a better job, a bigger house. But this constant desire for more can make us unhappy. Stoics remind us to appreciate the simple things in life, like good health, family, and friends. For example, instead of worrying about not having enough money, you can be grateful for the food on your table and the roof over your head. Practicing gratitude helps you feel content and reduces worry about things you do not have. Another important Stoic practice is to prepare for challenges. Stoics believe that by imagining the worst-case scenario, we can prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally. This does not mean you should expect bad things to happen all the time, but it means you should be ready for them. For example, if you are worried about losing your job, imagine what you would do if it happened. Would you look for a new job? Would you learn new skills? By thinking about these questions, you feel more prepared and less afraid. This practice is called premeditatio malorum, which means premeditation of evils. It helps you face problems with courage instead of fear. Stoicism also teaches us to live in the present moment. Many of our worries come from thinking too much about the past or the future. We regret things we did wrong in the past, or we fear what might happen in the future. But the truth is, the past is gone, and the future is not here yet. The only moment we have is the present. Stoics believe that by focusing on the present, we can live more fully and reduce our worries. For example, instead of worrying about a meeting tomorrow, focus on what you are doing right now. Enjoy the small moments, like a good meal or a conversation with a friend. When you live in the present, you feel more peaceful and less stressed. One of the most famous Stoic exercises is to ask yourself, is this within my control? Whenever you feel worried or upset, ask yourself this question. If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, take action. For example, if you are worried about an exam, ask yourself, is this within my control? If you have studied and prepared, then you have done your best, and worrying will not help. If you have not studied, then take action and start preparing. This simple question helps you focus on what matters and avoid unnecessary worry. Stoicism also teaches us to be humble and remember that we are part of something bigger. The Stoics believed in the idea of cosmic perspective, which means seeing yourself as a small part of the universe. This helps you realize that your problems are not as big as they seem. For example, if you are worried about a small mistake at work, remember that in the grand scheme of things, it is just a tiny moment in your life. This perspective helps you stay calm and not take things too seriously. Finally, Stoicism teaches us to live with virtue. Virtue means living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Stoics believe that the most important thing in life is not wealth, fame, or power, but being a good person. When you focus on living with virtue, you feel proud of yourself and less worried about external things. For example, instead of trying to impress others, focus on being honest and kind. This inner strength helps you face life's challenges with confidence. In conclusion, Stoicism offers powerful tools to stop worrying and start living a better life. By focusing on what you can control, accepting life's changes, practicing gratitude, preparing for challenges, living in the present, and living with virtue, you can find peace and happiness, even in difficult times. Remember, life is not about avoiding problems, but about facing them with courage and wisdom. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So take control of your mind, let go of worry, and start living like a Stoic today.